Hello, Venerable.
Hello, very
Nice.
good afternoon, teacher.
Yeah, good afternoon. You're out in the open or your background?
No, I'm in the other side. I'm in Myanmar. I live in a side, teacher. So I'm in a small village.
Small village.
Yeah.
Very nice. Looks very good. This
Yeah.
is your monastery. The picture is your monastery, is it?
Yeah, teacher. Yeah.
It's your monastery. Looks very nice. Which part of Myanmar you are in?
Northern part of Myanmar, teacher.
Near
Kachin
Mandalay.
State. Yeah, Kachin State, near Kachin State.
Oh, near Kachin.
Yeah.
Kachin.
Yeah.
So now how is the situation? Safe? Everybody is safe?
So I cannot say safe. It's a very difficult to say. So I'm also worried about the internet. So because situation is could happen. Everything could happen.
I understand. Okay. So y'all can still go out for Pindapat or cannot?
No need, teacher. Here, all villager come and donate to monastery. No need to go.
No, you need to go. That's very good.
In the city.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, in the city. Normally, I live in Mandalay. I think you have been in Mandalay. Have you ever been to Mandalay?
Yes, I've been.
I have
been to Sagan. I've been to Mandalay about two or three times. I've been.
Yeah, my temple inside the Mandalay. So that's one.
I see.
Okay.
I
live in the countryside. Okay.
That's good. So now you're ready? You're ready. You can start anytime.
Okay, now I'm going to start.
You didn't send me your new, did you rewrite or not? Did you do any revision to your assignment? Did you change your assignment?
No, teacher.
Okay, never mind. So, okay, you give me a presentation first, then we will discuss later.
Okay, teacher. So, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see, but okay, now it's better. The doctrine of dependent origination, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, good afternoon, teachers. So my name is Visekana from Myanmar. Now, I would like to present about the doctrine or dependent origination. Here is the contents. I'm going to explain them very briefly. Introductions, the two formula of dependent origination, and the cycle rebirth or trailing, and original suffering and cessational suffering, and conclusions. So, introduction. So, Paticcasamuppāda, the term Paticca means dependence upon, and Samuppāda means arising or origination. So, literally meaning of Paticcasamuppāda is a dependent arising or dependent origination. Paticcasamuppāda is the key point to understand the whole teaching of the Buddha, because it's explained to see the reality of the nature, or let's say the process of life or reality of life. There are two main principles in the Paticcasamuppāda that's mentioned by Buddha. So here, so in Pali, two sentences. Asmin sti idam hodi imasa upada idam obijadis. So that's mean one, this is, that is one, this arise, that's will be arise. So That means so everything happens interdependently. So in the modern scholar mentioned that one, A is there, B will be there. One, A is arrive, B will be arise. So there is the in English called normal cycle. In Pali we call anuloma way. So then another way is asmin asti idan nahodi imasa niroda idan nirojadis. That means one, this is no, that is no. One, this and that's where be ends. So one, A is no, B will not be there. One, A is the and B will be and. So that means everything, every process of in the world, everything happens interdependently. Nothing happens without cause. So in according to Paticcasamuppāda, there is nothing, no accident. So everything happened with the cause, several cause, no one cause. One thing produced by several cause. So there is a two main principle, uh, in the Paticcasamuppāda. So everything is related each other. So those mentions as a trade link, the Buddha mentioning as a trade link here, trade links, ignorance, avijja, karmic formations, let's say mental formations, sankara, consciousness, vijnana, mind and matter, nama rupa, same base, salayana, context, pattern, feeling, vedana, craving, tana, clinging, upadana, becoming, bhava, jati, birth, jati, aging and death, jara, marana. They are 12 links. In Pali, so I can read this in Pali. Avijja pisya, sangara, sangara pisya, vijnana, vijnana pisya, nama rupa pisya, salayana, salayana pisya, phasa, phasa pisya, vedana, vedana pisya, tana, tana pisya, upadana, upadana pisya, bhava, bhava pisya, sati, sati pisya, jara, marana. Then soga, priteva, dukkha, domnasa, upayasa. There is a dependent origination. So now I can say that from the Buddhist psychology point of view. So dependent origination is like a cycle rebirth, the process of life. Why I say like that? Because everything is relate each other. Nothing happened without cause. So in Paticcasamuppāda, the Buddha mentioned that. So that's why. So if we, let's say, if we have a life, if we have if we reborn in a new life, we have definitely we have suffer. Definitely we have to save aging and death, ramarana. Then also soga, priteva, dukkha, domanassa, upayasa. There is a 12 links. We cannot avoid those things. There's linkings. They are related to each other. We cannot. So therefore, in the reality, life is a suffering. Samsara is a suffering. So, but if we did not attain nirvana, we have to go around in the samsara. We have to reborn again and again. So if we want to be free from the suffering, if we want to be free from the cycle rebirth from samsara, so we have to know which is original suffering. So now the Buddha mentioning original suffering here. Avijja Tana Vasena Dvimula Nicha Veditabar. So there is a ignorance, avijja, and craving turn are the origin of suffering. So here I would like to mention only avijja strong points. Why I say avijja is a strong point, enough reason to go around in the sanskrit, because avijja is the associated with the all unwholesome states, all unwholesome states. So avijja is associated with the all unwholesome state. Let's say if we are anger, we associate with the avijja and moha. And also if we have a lover, we also associate with the avijja. Back, if we have a lover, so maybe we cannot associate with the dosa. So like that. That's why I said avijja is a strong point to reborn in the sanskrit again and again. So now we already know so which is the original suffering. So if we know original suffering, then we need to know what is the solution, what is the cessation of suffering. Here mentioning that there are only two ways to free from the samsara, to be free from the suffering. Here, avijja, knowledge, trust, sadhana. So now you see avijja and avijja is a very only one letter is different, but the meaning is the opposite side. So avijja is the avijja is the moha, ignorance. Vijja is wisdom, knowledge, panya. So there's a very opposite side. If we want to be free from the samsara, so we have knowledge, we have vijja. So, but if so, avijja actually avijja is the like a spectacle. Let's say spectacle. If you wear the spectacle, we cannot see the reality or the nature. For example, if we wear the black color spectacle or yellow color of the spectacles, we cannot see the reality or the nature because we wear the color spectacle. So avijja is like that, but penya is the like a life. It can give the life in the darkness. So if we have that's here, avijja means knowledge that's directly come from the understanding and seeing the Four Noble Truths in our own experience. That's the Buddha mentioned that. And then also in the Professor Somarate, in our lecture, so the teacher mentioned that at the beginning, we need sada, tracks, faith in the teaching of the Buddha. Yeah, I agree with that because if we don't have a sada, how can I willing to study? How can I willing to study the teaching of the Buddha? So that's why at the beginning we have sada, then we can study, we can understand we can understand teaching of the Buddha, we can understand what is the Four Noble Truths in our own experience, like such as the suffering, original suffering, cessation of suffering, the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So there is the way to resolve, the ways to be free from the suffering. Then now I come to the conclusion. So according to the Paticcasamuppāda, everything in the world originates differently from each other. Nothing happens without cause. So there is no accident happening in the Buddhism. So from the psychology point of view, so Paticcasamuppāda is a process of the process of life, process of trailing or cycle or rebirth. I can say that. So if we understand the Four Noble Truths, so we can understand Paticcasamuppāda. So as well as the whole teaching of the Buddha. So that is my presentation. Thanks for your pay attention, teacher. So if I made mistake or error, please forgive me, teacher.
Okay, I would say your presentation, your preparation is very good. Yeah, your preparation is very good. The only comment that I would like to tell you is, I think it's your second slide. Two formulas that you put up of the dependent origination. Your second slide. Yeah, this one. If you want to present in English, I would advise you to put the meaning, it's all in Pali, right? The Pali is very strong, very good. But, it's better to put below it the meaning in English. Then other than that, even the next slide, your third slide is very good. The third slide is, you didn't put all the Pali names all in English. This, I would say, if you are presenting for early Buddhism, it's better to be in Pali. Pali then with the English meaning. But since this is what we call Buddhist psychology, actually Buddhist psychology, we don't go so deep into early Buddhism. So all the terms we use is better to be in English.
Okay, teacher.
Understand? So this slide, I will say, I like this slide very much. It's very clear and everything is in English. But your previous slide, everything is in Pali. So it's better that you include the English meaning there. In case you need to do some presentation in future. Other than that, I would say your presentation is good. Now we come to this understanding of early Buddhism, between early Buddhism and Buddhist psychology. Yes, we understand that suffering arises. Suffering arises in us. And then if we understand the Buddha's teachings, we can understand our own suffering. But for a person who comes to you for help, for counseling or for whatever it is, he comes to you with his suffering. With his suffering. So how would you advise that person? Let's say the person comes to you and tell you, Bante, I just lost my wife. His wife passed away. So he's very, very sad. Sad until he cannot work, cannot go to work, because he felt the loss so much. So he comes to you and talk to you about his suffering. So as we look at it from psychology point of view, he's in depression, right? He's in some form of depression after the passing away of his wife. So how would you, based on this understanding of Paticcasamuppāda, how would you advise this person? How would you talk to him so that he doesn't understand somebody? He's just a layman who doesn't understand Paticcasamuppāda, but he knows he's suffering now because his wife passed away. So how would you make him understand his suffering based on Paticcasamuppāda, based on the teacher, the Buddha's teachings?
Yes, teacher. So now teacher mentioned that because he's suffering because his wife passed away. So
yes.
So that's here in the Paticcasamuppāda, if we craving, let's say craving here, tanha. If we have a tanha, if we have a cravings, we must then clingings arise. So if you are clinging arise, let's say soga, prideva, dukkha, domanassa, ubayasa. So according to the Paticcasamuppāda, because if we so let's say in English, if we love your wife too much, so is a, let's say, craving, tanha. So therefore, you are suffering too much. So if you don't have a craving, tanha, you will not be suffer. So the Paticcasamuppāda mentions like that. So if you don't want to be free from the suffering, you have to keep your mind free. You have to keep your minds. How can I say? Not to love your wife too much, because your wife is already passed away. You cannot do nothing. You cannot change anything. So I think so. According to Paticcasamuppāda, we must give the love, or we might give loving kindness instead of loving too much. So I will be that's suggestion. I will give that suggestion, teacher.
Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, then, okay, you tell him don't be attached, but he is very attached to the wife.
Yeah.
So what else can he do so that he can lessen his attachment and lessen his suffering?
Yeah.
What other things he can do?
Then another thing. So now we can give another example, teacher, because he is now suffering a lot because of his wife. Now let's say, for example, another person passed away is near him, but that person not relive with him, he will not be suffer, he will not feel nothing, because he don't have attachment, he don't have a craving tenor. So in this way, so if you don't want to be suffering, so we just how can I say, we have to keep our mind like a normal person. So that is the process of our life. One day I will be dying, so there is a process of our life. We cannot change that process. So we keep our mind. We anchor. How can I say? We have to take our self control. So if so, I think so his suffering is going to be relieved.
That's good. You make him see the suffering is related to his attachment, his strong attachment to his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, teacher, suffering is not because of his wife, because of his mind. His mind attacks his wife too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't attachment too much to his wife, so no need to suffer, I think. So that's why we need to teach ourselves.
So, so Venerable, this is what we call Buddhist psychology. Just to apply the simple teachings of the Buddha to our everyday experience.
Yeah.
Understand? So we no need to go so deep into, early Buddhism. It's it's very simple, Buddhist psychology, very simple. That's why I told you now that early Buddhism is more of, we try to reach the ultimate happiness, the Nibbana and all that. For Buddhist psychology, we are not aiming for Nibbana. We are just aiming to relieve our everyday suffering. Simple. So if you look at Buddhist psychology that way, actually it's very easy subject. Because your understanding of early Buddhism is very strong. You just apply it. into very simple examples of everyday life, how we can relieve ourselves of the suffering that we are experiencing.
Yeah, teacher.
You understand, Pante?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Venerable, yeah?
I
Okay.
understand
So
clearly.
for your exam, hope you can apply it like that in all your answers.
Okay,
Yeah.
try my
I would
best.
say you gave a good presentation. Yeah. So your ideas are there. What I want to know is what motivated or inspired you to choose this topic? Why?
Why?
Why
Because
did you choose this topic?
because I'm very interested in Paticcasamuppāda. In here in Myanmar, most laymen and lay women and listening the doctrine of Paticcasamuppāda. That's the one point. The another point is the Professor Somarati. He teaches the whole teaching is it came from the Paticcasamuppāda. That's one thing. Then another thing is why I like Paticcasamuppāda is the Paticcasamuppāda mention the whole process of life and um, the links of how can I say Paticcasamuppāda explain the reality of life, the need. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I choose teacher. But
I
for
see.
me, yeah, teacher at the right deck, so I need to relate with the Buddhist psychology. But yeah, I'm thinking, how can I release? How can I relate with the psychology, Buddhist psychology and Paticcasamuppāda? So I have no idea. So that's why now teacher explained very easily and very clearly. So thank you, teacher.
Okay, it's just the Paticcasamuppāda is actually just telling us about the conditions for the arising of suffering and the conditions for the cessation of suffering, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So you apply that and you take a few of those factors applied into the Buddhist psychology in everyday life, our suffering in everyday life.
yes.
So we no need to talk about liberation. We no need to talk about becoming an arahant. We just want to be relieved of some of our suffering in everyday life. So through understanding this Paticcasamuppāda, conditioning our life. So for a person, like this person, he's suffering. So what you can advise him to do is, instead of his mind dwelling on the attachment for his wife all the time, you can ask him, always tell him to come to the temple to either meditate. If he can meditate, if he cannot meditate, then he can at least do dana. After doing the dana, he can transfer marriage to his wife.
Yeah.
Right or not?
Yes.
So in that way, it will help him to lessen his attachment because he can do things. He can feel that he can still do things for his wife, even though the wife has already passed away. So that will help him to relieve him, lessen his suffering.
Yeah.
That's why Buddhism is actually very good. When we are faced with such suffering, there's something we can do about it. So it's the sixth sense basis, the context. So for him, if he does nothing, he's just stay at home, he dwell on his six senses all because of this, attachment only, Whereas if he can come out, go to the temple, then the six senses will be different, isn't it? The objects and all that in the temple. That will change his mind. That will change his consciousness. So very simple application where Buddhist psychology is concerned. Okay.
Okay.
And also in his case, also because of ignorance, he's not, aware of how his suffering comes about. So when he comes and talk to you, and then you can tell him, the Paticcasamuppāda explain to him, then his wisdom would arise.
Okay.
He will have more wisdom and then he will have more understanding. So that's how we help people. We apply the teachings of the Buddha in Buddhist psychology to help people to be free from suffering. You see the application part, Okay. So now Say you have done this, you have written your assignment and all that. Anything you have, anything extra that you feel you have gained? Is there anything? Any special, you know, after writing the assignment, after doing all the research and all that, do you feel you have gained anything special?
Again, is the I know the way of how to be free from the censor. So the main point and the strong point is the wager, knowledge, penner. Then also in the lecture, sada. So here I think so most of the books I have read back, they don't mention sada, but Professor Somaratis mentioned so sada. So I like this point. So yeah, I gain this one.
Ah, that's very good. I also agree with you. Sanda is very, very important.
Yeah.
So for a person who comes to us, if they want to talk to us about their suffering, but they don't have Sanda yet. So what we can do is to help that person. We can start with introducing the person to Sanda, to do things that will increase his Sanda. Then from there, you know, he will increase his understanding and all that. Then they will help to improve his wisdom. Then will lessen his suffering. Yeah. That's very good, Bhante. Okay. Is there any questions that you would like to ask me?
So no, I think it's no need because teacher always explain in the groups. So I think no need teacher.
Okay.
I
So you are okay. You can prepare well for your exam. Huh? The only thing is, as I keep reminding you, you don't talk about liberation. You just talk about relief of suffering in our everyday life. That's good enough. Okay.
Okay.
That would what you call would direct you to Buddhist psychology and not to early Buddhism.
So and I remember.
So you have done very well. I understand you are very strong in your early Buddhism. It's just that to change, to slightly divert it to Buddhist psychology, you know?
Yeah. So now I would like to ask one question, teacher. So for we have to refer for our final exam. So which books
Yes.
is good for me to prepare for our final examination? Because I need to apply with the Buddhist psychology. So that like a teacher explained. So which book is the best for me?
I recommended the one, the Padma
Recommend.
series.
Yeah.
Have you read?
Yeah.
Have you read the? Do you understand?
Yeah.
That book is very simple actually.
Yeah.
I think it's good enough. The application that you know how you apply. Okay. So and I've also given you the list of topics that you can prepare. You know, so you choose a few of those topics and you prepare and see based on the book, see what you can write.
Okay.
You know, for answers for exam, you don't need to write that long. About 500 words will be enough.
Okay.
To the point, to the important points. The important points must be there. So you also, for writing for exam, also you need what do you call it? A short introduction. So just write 1 or 2 lines for your introduction. Then your body can be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 if you have 3 points. Then after that, a conclusion. Conclusion also just a few lines. Everything is straight to the point, so no need to be so, you know, be so long-winded or, you know, no need to say so much. Everything is very simple. Actually, Buddhist psychology is very simple. You know, we understand psychology from aspect of understanding our own mind, then understanding our own emotions, then understanding how to apply the Buddha's teachings in our lives to reduce our suffering. If we can do that, then we can help another person who is suffering. Depends on his suffering, what type of suffering he is going through. And based on our own understanding of ourselves, we can help the other person. Okay. Most important thing, Buddhist psychology is actually to apply it to our lives,
Our
to our
daily
own
life.
life.
Okay.
Yeah, apply it to our own lives. Sometimes when you study Buddhism, it becomes like you know a lot of knowledge. Knowledge, you know, your knowledge is very, very good. But applying that knowledge into our daily life practice,
Yeah.
that is
Different.
psychology. That is psychology. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. I think you have done well.
Okay. Okay.
So we can, we can finish the Viva.
Okay, teacher.
I
Thank you
wish
very
you all
much.
the best.
teacher.
I
Okay.
wish you all the best. And then I understand that there should be a young scholars, what do you call it? Young scholars conference, maybe after your exam. If there's a young scholars conference, I will encourage you all to take part. No?
Okay, teacher.
You can present your paper, whatever papers you have written that you like, which paper you like the most, then you can take it and present it during the conference.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Okay, I encourage you all to do that. You are a good student. I say very good student. Your strong point is your early Buddhism. Very strong. You have that.
Thanks, teacher.
So okay.
Okay.
So okay.
Yes, okay, teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Because for
Thank you very much for this presentation. You've done well. Okay.
okay.
So all the best in your exam. All the best.
Thanks.
Any problems you face, until your exam day, then you can email me, or you can WhatsApp me, or whatever. Just any questions that you feel difficult for you, or what you need some guidance, you can let me know. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Okay. See you.
Okay, see you, teacher.
Yeah. See you. Okay. I can off this. You can off this.
Okay.
Okay.